Just first thing first, Ben, I just want to know how's training going? How's the hip holding up?
My hip feels great. I guess maybe I was a little bit worried of how it would handle the increased volume, but it feels much better than before. I don't feel anything there. It's outstanding.
And being back in the gym and I know you're training for a boxing fight. Has it kind of made you think potentially I could jump back into MMA at some point?
No, not at
No.
all. No, I don't feel as though this is an unretirement. I feel like this is kind of like a hobby or something fun that someone offered me, and I want to do it, and I'm gonna take it seriously. But yeah, I don't really. I love what I'm doing in my regular life, so I don't really have a desire to stop that and do something else full time.
So this is specifically about the opponent you were offered, and of that level, you wouldn't be interested in jumping into any type of high level competition right now.
So again, like I don't know about jumping in. It's like if I was offered the right opportunity, again, I would probably say yes. And that was kind of what I said when I retired. Is like I'm never going to do this as my profession, but that doesn't mean if something comes up, I wouldn't necessarily say yes. So I'm kind of viewing this as like a hobby type thing, as opposed to a profession.
Sounds good. And then typically throughout your MMA career, how much, boxing did you do? You're not known for as a striker, obviously you're known for your
Yeah.
elite level wrestling. So during a typical camp, was it daily? How much weekly would you do?
Yeah. We did a decent amount of striking, but the thing I'm noticing, and just kind of like noticing my habits and why I'm moving certain ways is everything that I did striking wise was pretty much to get to the takedown, right? Or to set up the clinch or to set up something. It was very minimal striking for striking's sake. And so, like now when I'm thinking about like, okay, how do I hit him and not get hit? Before it was like, how do I not get hit and how do I grab him? Or how do I not get hit and how do I take him down? That kind of thing. So it feels way different. Actually, like today I was just throwing a combo and I was like, I've been training for maybe not even quite 2 weeks for this, almost 2 weeks. It was like, wait, I never was able to throw that combo in MMA. Like I always felt really strange. Like, why the hell did I just threw it and it felt clean today? And it was like, oh, because, I'm setting my feet a different way and I'm not, MMA, everything was always close distance, because once I get close to them, I was going to take them down. And so now, staying at a range where I can punch them, okay, it's kind of opening up stuff. So yeah, it's funny.
And Jake Paul obviously is the opponent. First of all, what you make of his whole persona and what he's been able to do and taking YouTube boxing and kind of making it a thing? Is it admirable, or are you on the side of really it doesn't have a place?
I don't care. I mean, there's been celebrity boxing. This is not the first time something like this has happened. I can't cite all the instances, but it has definitely happened over the course of history. And I think boxing is one of those things that's so simple that regular people will enjoy watching other people just punch each other in the face. It's not like mixed martial arts where you can throw two untrained people in there. You're going to get a freaking mess. In boxing, like, well, that's what everyone wants. They're just going to stand there and punch each other. And it might even be better in a real boxing match because there's going to be like no defense, that type of thing. So I think there is a place for it. I think people enjoy it. As far as like, is Jake Paul a real fighter? Nah, I don't really think so. But do people want to watch him box? The answer to that, yeah.
And you said just then that he's not a real fighter. So obviously he's had a few fights. I'm sure you've studied them by now. What do you make of them? Just, compared to you've been in with a lot of talented strikers. What do you make of his striking?
I would say there's nothing to be made from either one of his fights. I always joke with some of my kids. It's like, well, I want you to wrestle competition that's at your level, because if you don't, if I throw you in there against Cael Sanderson or Jordan Burroughs, you're just going to get demolished and I'm not going to be able to see anything. Okay. And if you go against someone who's a bum, you're just going to pin him in 10 seconds and I'm not going to get to see anything. So with those matches that are really lopsided, and in this case, it's because the other person is really terrible, you don't really take too much away from that because it's too hard to, because the competition is so low that pretty much no matter what he did, he was going to look good.
And I seen yesterday that Tyron Woodley was saying he's going to be a part of your corner come fight night. So I'm just interested who the rest of your team is going to be. Is it people you've been with for a while, or you're bringing new people in for this camp?
Not too many new people. I guess I'm not sure who my whole corner is going to be. My old teammate Mike Rhodes is kind of training with me every single day. He fought in the UFC. I'm working with Scott Cushman and Duke at Rufus. I know they're both cornering other people that night, I believe. I'm actually bringing a pretty high level boxer in this weekend, a guy named Cornelius Brundage. He was I don't remember which organization. He was a champ. I'll look it up real quick. Cornelius. He was, I think, WBC champion. So I kind of had a lot of people offer on Twitter because everyone hates Jake Paul, which I totally did not realize that was the case. He was the IBF champion in Pierce. And so, it's like, hey, I'm gonna bring him in, and if it goes well, I'm gonna just try to pick his brain. Then I'll probably bring him back for more weeks. I'm gonna go out to see Freddie Roach for a week. So I'm just kind of picking people's brains. And a lot of this is going to be just how well do you compete, and how well do you fight, and how well do you take a punch. And obviously there's mechanics of boxing that are going to be relevant. And I'm going to try to pick people's brains, but a big part of it is just who I am as a competitor and who I am as a fighter.
And on the night, I've seen that you're predicting you're going to stop him as the rounds progress. Are you still confident in that prediction? Or,
Yes.
Does it change as you're doing more boxing in camp?
I'm feeling a lot better than I actually thought I was going to. It just came back really fast. Like the first day I felt rusty. I probably hadn't thrown a punch in, I don't know, 15 months or something. But then like 3 or 4 days later, it's like, wow, this feels crisp. And then, then like I said, now I'm like, 12 days later, it's like, I feel like I'm throwing combos I was never able to throw in mixed martial arts. And it was probably because I was too preoccupied with the takedown mixed martial arts. But man, it feels great. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape already. So yeah, I'm really excited with where I'm at.
And what have you made of, or have you seen like MMA fighters, boxers chiming in, giving their opinions on the fight? You've got the backing of everyone, but not everyone's picking you to win. What do you make of that?
It's whatever. I don't really care. I don't get too caught up in that stuff on Twitter and who's backing me and who's not backing me or what they think of me. I don't really care.
And just finally, before I let you go, UFC 258 tomorrow. Have you got a prediction? Will you be watching the fight?
Oh man, I was struggling because I don't really like either one of these guys. Um, I don't really know who I want to win. I don't really like either one of them.
Do you have an idea who you think might win?
I mean, I would lean towards Marty, but I'm not really all that sure of it. And yeah, obviously they fought in camp together. They kind of know who's going to win. I'm sure they have a good idea. So I would lean Marty.